Welcome to Open Minds, Open Mic, the place to be at a Friday night. We have a very special delight for you. Karen Melander-Magoon will be doing a feature. So yeah, really excited about that. Um, I have something different. This is way different from what I normally write. CP challenged me to write, a non-rhyming poem, and so I wrote it in the form of just a prose. And I was kind of inspired by Karen a bit, and it was inspired by the lovely sunsets that we get here. I walked out and just kind of seen it and just started writing. But I call it Hidden Underneath a Thin Sheet of Air.
Mm.
It was only 5 p.m., but when you're this far north during winter, the sun will set fire to the daylight, forcing the clouds to glow with an incandescent peachy orange light that could change a life. Slowly dragging the frozen, bloated yet jagged shadows overhead, this bitter cold dirt settling layer after layer, coating every bone rotting on the ground. The bones that still bear meat are moving, weary and skittish. Death is always looming, a steady, unforgiving force shoving them towards any bit of warmth or light. Eventually, if enough bones roam as one, there will be a glow they gravitate to, so bright and warm, a place to reside, full of true love and peace, together as one family, eventually. With the fire-imbued hue of the sun crawling into their eyes, and the pale desolate thoughts of the moon deep in their minds, they will find this place, eventually. Somewhere far away from the ice-filled hearts of greed, anger, and mistrust. Somewhere so close they cannot see it, yet if they believe it enough, they can reach out and touch it, eventually. Thank you.
Eventually. That was beautiful, Tom.
That was wonderful.
Yes. And it was kind of just inspired by,
You're getting better and better, man.
it was kind of inspired by, all this bad stuff that kind of goes on in the world and just this cold, but like yet if, we all kind of, stick together and move as one that, we'll find, peace here. So, yeah.
Were you thinking of the bones of children? Were you thinking of anything
All
just
types of any bones, just the bones, animals, people, children,
mm-hmm.
just bones, yeah. All right. Thank you guys for the feedback. I really appreciate it. Coming up next, though, we have someone who we haven't seen in a while. We're really excited to hear. Whisper Poet, if you could unmute yourself and bless us with some words, we would greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Thomas, so much. Refresh my memory because it has been a minute. I forget. Do we do one or two? If they're short, do we do two or just do one? How do we do it?
You could do two, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Well, I have absolutely no shame when it comes to making my friends smile. I will make the biggest idiot, fool, whatever of myself, be silly, whatever to make a friend smile. And you, my friend, need a smile. So I'm gonna lead off with some silly. So this is a poem that was a throwaway. Nemo helped me resurrect it into something maybe artistic, but it's still 95% silly, maybe 5% artistic. This is called Musings on Cheap Pens. What is it about a pharmaceutical company pen? They look like cheap crap, but they write like a dream. It's the craziest thing. Actually, people are like that too. They look like they're out of ink, and then you discover they're a freaking awesome human. If I was a promotional item, I would probably be a koozie. But what I really want is to be a pharmaceutical company pen. All right, here's the second one. This is called this is called Just Because It's Pretty Doesn't Mean It Doesn't Bite. This was in response to someone inappropriate sending me a DM on a social medium. A visitor to the garden, entranced by colors bright, reached out to touch a flower, overcome with a voyeur's delight. Unwittingly, he acted. Inadvisably, he touched. The lovely flower shivered. What happened next? Oh, not so very much. Woe betide the visitor. He let passion prompt the act. He touched a hidden carnivore, a Venus flytrap to be exact. It shivered again and shifted to open up its maw. The lovely flower ate him from his toupee to his balls. So heed me now, dear voyeur. Let your eyes enjoy the feast. Touch not the pretty flowers. The pretty hides a beast.
Wonderful. Everybody, unmute yourself and give it up for Whisper Poet.
Woo!
That is such a such a fantastic poem. And that laugh at the end, yeah.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Honestly, you need
Whisper
like this.
Poet. Good to see you back. Sorry.
I was gonna say, honestly, we need like this anthology of like tales, and then have one of your poems in there, and then just have the rest of the anthology be about similar things to that, because that's just perfect.
Definitely. Definitely. Thank you so much for coming back. We missed you, and I hope that we get to see more of you. And thank you so much for your kind words. Yeah, it means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. Coming up next, we have Lantern Carrier, my brother, my spiritual mentor, my beloved friend. So, Lantern, if you could bless us with some words, I would greatly appreciate it.
Eat well, Thomas. Drink a lot of fluids and eat some nice food, nutritious food. Eyes filled with tears, heart flowing with longing. I saw that many seasons of dawn and hope came only to disappear like darkened clouds hovering over distant horizons. Many summers passed, then the magenta autumn came, blanketing the dusk with its rose-pink petals. You appeared with a lushness, smiling on the edge of sunset, the delicate silent calligraphy of your fragrant fingers lingering slowly up and down my burning spine, transmitting a thrilling energy which stunned the heart. Drunk in a serene conversation of love divine, my core whispered softly a tender call of freedom. Out of this vibrant river of perennial joy, I flowed into your ocean and we became one. Poem 2. I wanted to become a weaver of words, but the beloved made me an ant, slipping through his delicately woven tapestry of diction. I wanted to have a way with speech, but a drunken vineyard of Rumi's rhapsody sealed my honeyed tongue. I was dipped into a meadow of delight, which inebriated my soul. I wanted to become a bard of solace, but Kabir whispered to my alcove of elegant flowers. My soul was kissed by the brilliant sun, transforming my words with the fire of calligraphy. I wanted to become a servant of His Majesty. The beloved entered the very portal of my life's breath and said, "Take me, O lantern carrier, for I am yours." Poem 3. If I could start my life once more, I would cherish the laughter of discomfiture and cradle the darkness of a shadowed past. If I could start my life once more, I would treasure the thorns on roses and bow at the feet of my gross desires. Doesn't each new dawn follow night? The radiant spring, winter's dreary clouds? Alas, I knew not then. I knew not but despair and loneliness, sore adversity the enemy, not the friend, a flame of lust opening my heart to impunity. Now I feel a longing which time itself cannot erase, a lover with nothing but tender words for his beloved, my soul in ceaseless agony for its true self. If I could start my love once more, I'll neither hinder nor erase the abyss. Love is busy enough, unraveling the pages of its mystery. As such, it behoves me to admire, not disturb. Last one. I wish I could feel now what I felt then. You and I, hand in hand, picking winter sweet clematis, caressing the unseen purple of the redolence on our breaths, throwing snowballs to infinitude. I wish I could feel now what I felt then. Your smile painting its magical garlands on my gaze, my hopes and dreams blossoming like radiant lotuses, nature's sunsets alluring my being with their enchantments. I wish I could feel now what I felt then, heart singing sweetly in the meadow of bliss, my soul bird dancing on the golden robes of moonlight, cradling my longing with speechless rhapsodies. I wish I could feel now what I felt then, your love like an arrow piercing into my spirit, a bewildering and wondrous wine, intoxicating my soul with the ecstasy of joy. Yet, even as my brush longs to stroke the past, I can only admire the sacrament of the present moment. Dawn is fast approaching. The beloved is playing with each moment in accordance with his dreams. Lantern carried. Thank you.
Everybody unmute yourself and give it up for Lantern Carrier.
Woo!
Wow,
Yeah, Lantern Carrier.
Thank
Wonderful.
you,
Do it
guys.
every time.
Thank you so much.
As always, so sublime. Ah, Lantern, your pen is made of gold and diamonds,
I don't
and
know
it flows
my
from the
comment.
heaven.
I said Rudolf Nureyev was to ballet what Lantern Carrier is to poetry.
Right.
Thomas, you're not old enough to know who Rudolf Nureyev is, do you?
No, but and I don't follow
was
ballet very
grateful.
much, but I can recognize that it was a
Lantern
compliment.
Carrier.
Yeah, I've
Lantern
used him in
Carrier.
my poetry, when I'm talking about dance and the beauty of dance and, the whole cosmic dance, He was one with the movements, And the woman, his equivalent female would be Plisetskaya. Yeah, with
Women
swan lake.
Rudolf Nureyev. He was romance on ballet shoes, and so handsome, and just the spirit and the beauty and just coming through dance, and Lantern Carrier does that with words. It's amazing.
You're very kind to me. You're very kind to me tonight. I was trying to aspire to become like Thomas, but he's moving further away from me.
I'm going to say something about Nureyev. I didn't know him, but my husband and his brother entertained him in Hawaii. And he stayed at their home, and he was in hiding, so nobody would find out. And he said, "We go downtown, beef steak." He was hungry and he wanted steak. He called it beef steak. So that's all I remember about the poem, about the moment. But it was amazing how just to imagine him in Hawaii hiding.
Yeah. Je ne sais quoi of Bali.
Very beautiful Lantern, just gorgeous always.
Yeah,
Thank you.
very beautiful. And looks like we got Mr. Witz just showed up. Mr. Witz, welcome to the show. So glad you can make it. Yeah. But coming up next, we have Nona Lea. If you could unmute yourself and bless us with some words, I'd greatly appreciate it.
All right, so you guys have an option. As I mentioned, I am working on a small chapbook of poems related to mostly music, but some of nature. And you guys have options. You can either listen to A Funeral Fire for the Fathers or Song of the Old Gods. And you could just pitch
Song
hands
of the
for
Old Gods.
Yeah,
Love the
Song
title.
of the Old God. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, by popular demand, Song of the Old Gods. I am going to ask you to pause the recording for this one.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Nona, again. That was beautiful piece, beautiful piece. Coming up next, though, we've got the Magus, Gustav, Sallas, my brother down in Florida. We love you. If you could unmute yourself and bless us with some words, we'd appreciate it.
Hey, Thomas. Hello, beloved poets. I'll have one piece tonight. It's from an old Nuyo prompt called Town Crier. Hear ye, I'm the town crier. Listen up, the situation's quite dire. I have to laugh to keep from crying. We must live to keep from dying. World temperatures rising fast. Enjoy each breath, it could be your last. Hot, hot, hotter, the earth burns. For relief, the planet yearns. And all the while, fools are politicking as the clock continues ticking. Moms for Liberty is just canned Karenhood. This minivan Taliban's up to no good. Book banning Christian terrorists, democracy's enemies, willful errorists, communication breakdown, Mercury retrograde. The far right is Phuong and played. Out with your rights, now in danger. Republicans getting stranger and stranger, believing lies like stolen elections. Trump is the only thing that gives them erections. We've reached a critical mass. Get involved. Don't be an ass. Stand up for gay rights and for trans folks too. Rights for the atheist, Hindu, Muslim, and Jew. Our rights they have trampled. You know this is true. If you're uncertain, just vote blue. If it's come down to this, vote or die. I am the town crier. Hear my cry. Thank you.
Everybody, unmute yourselves and give it up for the
Woo!
Magus.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so
That
good.
was good. I like
Speak
that.
it.
Town crier, indeed. You should
You
be
have
the
the
town
amazing
crier for the
ability to
world.
create tension. You create this need to like I my pulse rate goes up, my blood pressure goes up, like I need to do something. You know, you have this amazing ability to like want to prompt action. Not everybody can do that. It's a special talent. CP Mays does it too.
That's august company. Thank you.
And I like that. If you're unsure, just vote blue.
That needs to be put on a t-shirt.
Yeah, I think so.
Definitely, definitely. All right, so we have Amadeus in the house now. And then we have Nemo will be up next, and then our feature. So, Nemo Sum, my brother, if you could unmute yourself and bless us with some words, I would greatly appreciate it.
Thank you. I've been suffering from a pretty bad case of mood flu this past week. It's been pretty bad. But the last couple nights, I've been able to go to Mr. Witz's show and then an in-person last night, and then tonight come and connect with everyone here. It's been very restorative. So I'm just so thankful for this space and for your company, all of you. So I'm going to read I'm going to read a microtriptych. That's 3 thematically connected micropoems. 2 of them tonight will be pieces that I'm working on. So you may have heard them before, but I'm working on tweaking the words, etc. So I have prologued too much. All right. I woke this morning to find myself changed. My jaw is sore from grinding, but that's nothing new. I had to untangle myself from the machine that keeps me sleeping, as I do every morning. One machine to make me sleep, one machine to wake me. I won't look at myself in the mirror. Maybe I'm afraid to see my true face. Or maybe I can't bring myself to look into those sad eyes anymore. Some days the horns are heavy and my head is bowed and my mood is dark and my heart feels like it will never heal. When gods meet men, they make monsters. When monsters mate, do they make a man no God would claim? Awoke this morning to find myself changed. Turning the corner on a familiar street, I encountered myself when I was just a boy, walking headlong into the storm. Excuse me. And I wanted to shout some warning, share some wisdom that would spare him from the wind that batters with words. But I never did learn how to dodge a lightning bolt. And this charred heart doesn't hold any answers. I only survived the ordeal. I never mastered it. So I watched him go alone and unprepared into the rain. As I stood silently, twisting tragedy into verses he'll write someday. All the grass was dead, and the air was only slightly cold under a silent gray sky. I walked and I smoked. The heart in my chest was freshly broken, still all jagged edges, and I wanted to rip it out to stop it from hurting. As the sky darkened, twinkle lights fought back with their little pools of defiant color. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going through some stuff right now too, man. That I feel you. Everybody unmute yourself and give all the love you have for Nemo Sum.
Nemo, we love you. Don't forget that.
Yeah, we're here for you.
Yeah,
You, Nemo.
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate the
And
fact
you're a great poet. Well,
You are a fantastic poet.
yeah.
definitely that in knowing you're sharing that, you're freeing yourself from the captivity of that energy. So continue to do so, brother. I love you. I'm proud of you, for fighting through the heavy
share.
emotions. You hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love you. So you know
I
that.
hear you.
I want to compliment Nemo on how well he does the critique of self and editing, because if some of you have heard the poem about seeing myself, walking through town, and the ending was different, and you've changed it, and you nailed it. That change that you made is absolutely brilliant. I loved it before, but it is perfect now, and I just admire your ability to edit and think critically about your work so much.
Thank you. That's a very high compliment. Thank you.
Oh, we got Coach Ja in the house.
Ja.
And yeah, and to reiterate too, what Mr. Witz said, like, getting that energy off and like, hey, we're all here, to help you take some of that. If we all take a little bit of that from you, you know, we will all suffer a little, so you don't have to suffer a lot.
And I feel it. So let me be clear. I feel it. So thank you so much.
Definitely,
Wonderful to be here.
definitely. All right, so we have our feature coming up next. The wonderful Karen Melander-Magoon. I have a bio here. So, Karen, who loves birthdays, and in fact wrote me a beautiful happy birthday poem on my birthday. If you guys were there at the show, she wrote it during the show. It was amazing. Thank you so much for that. She has a very checkered history. Pioneer in music therapy at the ripe age of 13, UN advocate and traveling prize recipient of the UN in high school. Wow, excellent. An experience that grounded her concern for international relations. She has a bachelor's degree in music from Indiana University, precursor to her 2 decades singing major opera roles in Europe. I did not know that about you. That is amazing. Um, Returned to the U.S. to marry and partner with the Vinter owner of Gwinnett Estate. Gwinnett Estate? Estate? Okay. Gwinnett Estate Vineyards and Winery in Orville Magoon. Karen has always wanted to be a conduit of positive messages and poetry. At 2. A tiny song she sang about birds was written down by her preschool teacher. Later, she won $1 and a pen for a poem published in the Seattle Times when she was 12. How cute is that? 2 years old. Ah, that's amazing. Um, Karen and Orville were cat people at Gwinnett. One of their cats made it into Sunset magazine when Karen was featured cooking for guests staying at the winery. Karen enjoys swimming in natural settings, including the aquatic park in San Francisco, where she found herself swimming once with sea lions and figured she better get out. Delightful as they were, doing hoops in the water. Karen has published 6 books of poetry, from which she plans to read tonight. Her subjects cover everything poets could possibly write about, from politics, love, nature, birds, and cats, to shadows and spots on the ceilings or reflections from the windows. Also, she wrote a poem as a response to my email. I asked her a few things about herself, and she wrote this poem. Do you mind if I read it? All right. A golden boa stretches itself across pale blue shoulders, auguring veiled sunset. San Francisco skyscrapers etch themselves against the sky, anticipating their own silhouettes. Even rumbling cars along the streets pause briefly in their caravan homeward to pay their respects to the twilight. Very beautiful. Yeah, if everyone just takes one moment, unmute yourselves and give it up for Karen Melander.
Woo!
Yes.
Oh, let's go,
Looking forward to
Karen.
it.
Karen, like to
Nice.
hear your face
Very
here.
Thank
kind.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here among this incredibly gifted group. And so I hope I don't disappoint. I got a few things in some of my books. I'm going to start with a song because I am still horrified by the beginning of the bombing again in Gaza. And this is just about war in general. I wrote this and it was put on a website years ago. I think I wrote it at least 20 years ago. And it was put on a website when there were lots of shootings in the schools. And one school came up with a nonviolent website and it was just devoted to nonviolence. And they started it with my poem, the poem song. When will the memories of war be silenced? When will the people learn? And when will peace transform each act of violence? When will the nations learn? Think of all the bread that can be bought for 20 bullets, schools in place of arsenals and homes, in place of all the weapons made to make the memories of war. When will the people learn? build a home or school to celebrate each act of peace. There shall children learn until the violence might cease. Then shall the nations learn. When will the people learn? Thank you.
Oh, that's
Beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah, I write about nonviolence all the time. I just don't see why we can't stop making war. This is my poem I wrote. I've been in a sort of a discussion, you might call argument, with my brother, who is very pro the war of Israel. I mean, he's really pro the war, and I just don't understand that. But I also have had a problem with the idea of Semitic, because I consider all Arabs Semitic and all Jews. I mean, anybody. There are a lot of brothers and sisters. So this is my poem. Pro-love. Pro-Semitic, pro-Arab, pro-peace, pro-love. Is there any other way to live than to stand steadfast for others, for those in pain, for those who have been dispossessed, for those who are refugees, refugees from homes and farms, from places which will not disappear if they are not tended, or which will disappear if they are not tended across the world? Let me start. Refugees from homes and farms, from places which will disappear if they are not tended. Across the world, we must hold hands with all who have been dispossessed, those fleeing Syria, those forced from Mali, from Zimbabwe, from Palestine, from homes and farms and villages, those who try to return to their homes and are killed, who try to cultivate their farms and are murdered, who plant olive trees where other trees have been destroyed and see those trees destroyed again, whose homes have been bulldozed multiple times or have been taken over by strangers, while those driven out still hold the keys to their homes and yearn to return, yet are rounded up like animals to be exiled or extinguished, as the world cries out, no more, never again, while the tragedies recur, and innocence is buried again in rubble, buried again in the dust of centuries of injustice. So, thank you. Now we'll go a little bit brighter. This is my poem called The Sun is Bright. The sun is bright and blinding in the December morning, glaring unforgivingly at humid adventures under its light, burning away all vestiges of fog. Nature has no secrets, neither dissembles nor betrays, transparent to the seeing eye, pragmatic in its innocence, gathering its storms, releasing torrents, making rivers, seas, floods, deserts, plains, prairies, tundra, neither forgiving nor seeking forgiveness as the world turns. The moon slides around its planet, and both circumnavigate a blinding sun. Nature has no secrets, is neither compassionate nor seeking compassion, neither empathic nor seeking empathy, and exploding into fire, minerals, water, and life, life that becomes human, life that seeks to dissemble, seeks to lie, to hide, to cover secret paths and actions, yet cannot contain what it would seek to hide, cannot contain what nature has ordained to be transparent under a blinding yet life-giving sun. Thank you. And here is a poem called The Christmas Season. The Christmas season dances into December. Elves propagate street corners, trees shimmer in gowns of light and color, babies reach out to a sparkling world. Songs remind us of another child, still not forgotten after 2,000 years, whose tiny hands once reached out to light the candles of Hanukkah, who grew into a boy who argued with the rabbis, a man with the strong arms of a carpenter, who preached upon a mountain that love is stronger than hate, more powerful than power, more life-giving than food or water, needing no doctrine, but embracing all ideas that may be subsumed in love. The Christmas season dances into December. Innocence is caged in prisons, waiting for love to unlock its doors. And here is one that I'm going to be saying. I'm speaking for the living wage on Sunday, so I'll give you my living wage poem. What is a living wage? What is justice? I worked 12 hours a day in Nantucket one summer, opening and closing a shop 9 to 9 for $1 an hour. No breaks, no lunch, Sundays free. I slept on a broken cot in the living room of a rental shared with 4 older girls who had beds. I had no idea that was not fair. Yesterday I saw a man throw down his bag in disgust as a police car drove up to take him away. Did he have a living wage? Did he have a home? Where do we find our dignity? A key to unlock our own cages of disrespect. Children should be taught self-dignity along with the multiplication tables and spelling. And Constitution begins at home. The rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Children should be seen and heard, loved and respected. The right to work for fair wages embedded in their sense of self. What is a living wage? What is a living idea? A living concept of self. Tomorrow does not vacate today, but lives within this moment, asking us to unlock our freedom, to walk with dignity, to expect and anticipate justice, that it may one day become a reality. Thank you.
That was great. All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Now I have a little bit shorter, and one on the holidays. The sky is old. The sky is old. Wisps of gray cover her ears. Wrinkles deepen in old clouds as they float upon the evening, covering her wise face. Her veil is embroidered with silver, the Milky Way flung over her shoulder seductively. Occasionally one hears her grumbling, while her eyes still sparkle with lightning in summer storms. And sometimes one hears the creak of her bed as she settles to sleep in craggy mountains, with her partner, the moon, or wakes to greet the sun while birds remove her nightshirt that covered her blue beauty at night, bathing her face with morning mist, refreshing her makeup, blue on blue, cloud on cloud. And then after the holidays, this is putting ourselves up a month. The world stretches, yawns, regrets, holiday decorations wilt. While rain beats at the window, my umbrella sags in the doorway, wet boots lie before the heater, the rain pours suddenly out of the sky, as if I had just unwrapped the pocket of a cloud. Now night has left streets wet, while rain is blown away into dark sky, leaving the air cold and humid, staring at empty stockings. On New Year's Day, I raced with others into the surf of Ocean Beach, but first I visited this bench, his bench, and looked out to the ocean, where my love would want to be and where I might find him again. That one, that reference is a bench that my late husband's colleagues made for him without my knowledge, and used it. It's looking out. If you see a green bench on Ocean Beach, right above our Ortega Street, between Ortega and Noriega, it's dedicated to a champion for the coastline, my late husband Orville Magoon. So I went to sit on that bench and look at the new year begin. The fog ate up the city. Vestiges of thought remained, clinging to her teeth. A bird knocked at my window, slipping into nothingness. The fog smothered the city in feathers, spilling from a pillow of light. Gulls flew through feathers, unaware of their kinship. The fog walked silently, holding hands with ghosts, disappearing in the morning air to sounds of bells. Smoke rises, reaching up into the afternoon of fog blankets, dissipating in the brilliant sun, hiding themselves not so discreetly above a fog-drenched city. And then I have one more from this book before I get to another book. This is called My Shadows. I walked in the night on a cold sidewalk under street lights, seeing my shadow lengthen as I walked. The light gave me a second shadow within the first, and then a third, and I looked over my shoulder to see where the shadows ended, knowing they would be hiding. As I walked away from the light, my shadows disappeared, and I imagined them dancing somewhere under the sidewalk. Okay, here is from my very first book that was from my book called The Earth Turns. That was my second book. This was the first one I did, and it's all poems I wrote in 2020, and it was called A Year of Anguish, A Time for Miracles. And I'm going to read to you Layers of Dandelions. We live in a world of layers, crumpled history crushed under new ideas, fertilized with rust and humus, inquiline lace stitched and embroidered by dandelions brushed under throats of children to evoke memories of yellow butter. Thin parchment spider webs glistening with dew and sunshine, hide burrows of voles, hide doors to nests of birds, nature's playground on layers of history, pushed under by paws of bears, hooves of mustangs racing through ages, unaware of yokes and plows, layers of growth visited by hungry dredges, heavy hammers and pressured water, acids and poisons to extract ancient oils, to fuel machines leaving deep marks on layers of earth, sending particles of burnt fuel, contaminating fields of daisies, layers reaching to our ozone stratosphere, reaching back to eons of time under layers of native foundations, bones of reptiles and vestiges of ancient fruits, upwards to pumpkin patches, bent steel of crumpled computers, mystical small rectangles glistening among cords and cables, where snakes slither gazing upwards at tiny microbes, layered minuscule vipers threatening human endeavors, checks and balances push a pause button on new layers, corona spins over fields of industry, resting on plastic and paper, flying with human breath to infect and contaminate as we have polluted the air of our only home. Now our own lungs are recipients of contamination, reminding us of our mortality, asking us what we will grow now to assuage the peering snakes of virulence, to assure a new world, new layers of dandelions, children's laughter and yellow butter from flowers crushed under their chins. So that's kind of, you might call it a dump heap, but it's kind of this layers and layers of history and things that happen, but the dandelions always come back. And this one is I called it The Paintings. And if anybody loves going to museums, you'll recognize all these artists that I talk about. I walk inside each painting. I touch the flowers and people of Pissarro. People climbing on ladders to pick fruit. Children playing in the meadows. I lie down in their grass or the grass of Monet, or look over the shoulders of Cézanne's card players. I walk among Rembrandt's crowd, seeing Jesus for the first time, insulted and spat upon, and want to embrace the people there and tell them that the sunshine above is love. I walk upon Georgia O'Keeffe's petals, jump among her clouds, whisper to Cassat's little girl in a blue chair, join Renoir's boating party luncheon, dance in Henri Matisse's circle of dancers, or watch with Toulouse-Lautrec's audience at the Moulin Rouge. Walk Vermeer's little street in Delft, stopping at the lace maker's window to admire her work, longing to rest, but simply gently push the hammock as Gustav Courbet's sleeper dreams, and slide away out of each flame of human joy and human pain into the other side of the mirror. So that was my reflections on a museum visit. How much more time do I have?
It's your night as long as you'd like.
Yeah, how much more time do you want? Yeah.
We're all here to listen.
Forever, but I don't want to overindulge you. I mean, I don't want to. Okay, this is the gap. And I was thinking of how we have misused our life on Earth, and that the Earth itself is just kind of said, hey, bye, come back when you've grown up. This is called the gap. I am a giant cavern across which you must leap from one world to the next, across which you must swim or fly to find your way to peace. The world you leave is angry, tangled with greed and steel, breathing hatred and pollutants. The world you leave is beautiful, yet suffocating with all you heap upon it. It cries out to you, leave me to resurrect. Leave me to walk in beauty again. Leave me while you seek another world that you may treat with tenderness. You are not wanted as you are. You have not matured. You are not children. Yet you must become innocent again. Fly away. You are not wanted until you learn to live with beauty. Cast away your greed. Throw away your golden calves. Melt your idols. I am a giant cavern. You must find your way to the outer banks of a new world. Only then, when you have lost your greed and fake idols, lies and yearning for power and wealth, when you have disrobed and cleansed yourself of selfish effusions, greed's illusions, transformed your poisoned effluence into sweet honey, nectar welcomed by bees and hummingbirds, cease from desecrating the land, air, and water of your world, only then may you return, and I will close the gap and welcome you. I have this one's kind of political. It's about the Statue of Liberty. So anyway, yearning to breathe free. She stands there, torch held high, a gift of the French at the close of the Civil War, in honor of our Emancipation Proclamation, in honor of the freeing of slaves. Her hand was to hold broken chains, but grips a tablet inspired and inscribed with the date of the Declaration of Independence. Her famous words, written by Lazarus to earn money for the pedestal, were written and inscribed in 1883, yet how fitting to remember huddled masses yearning to breathe free as we mourn and rise in anger over the death of George Floyd and Eric Garner, and all who have been choked, asphyxiated, murdered by an unjust, oppressive society, and a president who would turn his armed forces on the people he represents, who protest the laying of a knee on the throat of George Floyd, family man, basketball coach for kids, rapper, human being, called a gentle giant. How much better the laying on of hands of all those oppressed by our nation to confer a new blessing, a new hope on our tattered and crying country, yearning to break free from its chains of war, its legacy of slavery, its hatred of the other, who in reality is ourselves, undeserving, yet desperately in need of our own blessing, abjuring death by police knee for life by hands of justice.
Wow. That was good.
Thank you. This is called ice. And it's a new word that I learned, palinha. I am a palinha. I am an oasis in a desert of ice. I am a little pond. I am a trough of food for animals. I disappear and reappear. I have seen 1 billion years of ice. I live in the Arctic and the Antarctic. I have watched ice disappear around my edges as I watch ages come and go, 1 billion years and more. I nourish the beginnings of new animals walking on 2 legs, walking over bridges of ice to live around me, to live beyond me. Great winds blow away ice that might consume me, so I remain a refuge. Yet bipedal animals with tools have become clever and dug into the earth, bringing up old reservoirs to burn for heat and energy, making my home hotter. My ice walls melt. Glaciers above me calve. My world becomes smaller. Bipeds bring ships to study me, yet keep burning, keep heating my air. My sides melt more quickly. I wait for another winter where ice and wind make me whole. I cry cold tears and curl into my warming breath, melting into a suffocating planet whose life I nourish, whose breath disappears, each year a little more. Sequestered methane and carbon give me time to breathe. Yet as my friends around me melt, those gases leak into our world. They wrap us up in suffocating blankets as they have done before, till I and all the world can't breathe, can't breathe, can't. I wrote this one, as you might realize, shortly after I had written the one on Floyd, on George Floyd, because I just was thinking about that can't breathe, and what our own world is enduring. So anyway, this is a quick one called Catch, and then I'll go to another book. Oh dear. There we go. Catch a falling sun right there at the horizon, burning, radiating energy, yet softly acquiescent to the humbling algorithms of our universe. Catch a falling universe, whirling like a gypsy, with a skirt of nebulae, swirling infinitely. Catch an infinite idea, tumbling and lost in the song of a sparrow. Oh, I think I'm going to read you this one. It's still in the same book, but it's called The Great Turtle. The Iroquois called it Anawarakoa, the Great Turtle, because of its shape. Others called it Vineland or Winland or West Indies. Amerigo Vespucci, the first to realize this was not West Indies, but a new land, Amerigo Vespucci lent his name to it. We call it America. It came to encompass all of the North and the South, North America with Canada, South America as far as Chile, America. Perhaps we need a new name for the United States. Land of disappointment, land of hope, land of change. I, for one, would love to live on the back of a great turtle and subscribe to the legend of the great turtle lying on the back of a turtle upon turtle upon turtle, reaching up to the sky, reaching upwards, ever upwards, breathing the clouds of truth, the clouds of knowledge, clouds of compassion surrounding the great turtle, Anawarakoa. I've always loved that legend about the turtles, one on top of the other. This is my pocket. I put a piece of sky inside my pocket, very small. I don't think anyone saw me take it, except perhaps a chickadee who rested on a branch upon a tree in front of me and shook his head. I put a piece of forest in my pocket, light as air. I don't think anyone saw me take it, except a chipmunk who ran so fast up the tree trunk, trying to hide himself from my theft. I put a piece of dirt inside my pocket. I don't think anyone saw me take it. Grimy humus, smelled like heaven. mushrooms, rocks, and earthy things, maybe worms, things to save and to remember, years of childhood. I put a piece of ocean in my pocket. I don't think anyone saw me take it. Made believe it wasn't wet, but full of dreams, of rocks and waves, and what now seems to me to be a symphony of life, of you and me. I put a piece of you inside my pocket. I don't think anyone saw me take it, except perhaps you saw me look up to the sky and out to sea, so maybe you know I love you and keep you always in my pocket.
That was beautiful. Just
Thank
beautiful.
you. Thank you. This is from Millions of Suns. One day we will understand, when words have exhausted themselves and disputes dissolved in the tide of nature's embrace. One day we will understand, when guns no longer inspire or seduce, when killing is merely an old word fallen into disuse for lack of meaning. One day we will understand, when understanding is no longer necessary, when borders become quaint, like corsets and prisons, bars to separate or hold, when holding is for comfort and detention is another forgotten word. One day we will understand, when we look at our unbearably beautiful world and know, like the dandelions in fields of green who bow to each other in smiling grace, and the vast herds who travel the Serengeti, falling in time to sustain, yet retaining dignity and beauty. The auks and eagles, frogs and tadpoles, butterflies and beetles, majestic redwoods and cedars, the vast panoply of creation threading through itself, threads through us as well. One day we will understand and know we need nothing more. And I'm going to read you the first poem in my book, Millions of Suns. This is about millions of suns. Millions of suns rise each day over planets not yet numbered. Eclipses banish galaxies of moons, become shadows to each other. Gravity defies and then denies competing rules of science, compatible in laws yet to be learned. Earth sends her emissaries out to visit worlds beyond the sun we know, to track the footsteps of the gods, venturing beyond their own horizons, far beyond myths, rings of fire, beyond the spinning globes of ice, beyond uncharted ocean's depth, and far beyond the rags and tags of vacuumed holes turned inside out. Dancing bursts of molecules, intrepid hosts of unsung stars, shooting beyond all consciousness, shooting beyond time. Millions of suns rise and set within a spinning universe in which we ride a carousel beyond imagination, beyond peregrinations, lost, uncharted destinations, spinning within multitudes of mazes, shielded from disaster by a throbbing pulse of yin and yang, of pull and push, a giant pulsing universe, unfathomable heart, deep magnitude of being, stretching, reaching beyond meaning, yet connecting, finally seeing beyond time, beyond dimension. Rhythm beats her ineluctable creation, never ending, still extending, beating, bending, never ending dance of life. Thank you very much. I think I've read enough for all of you. It's been an honor to be here, and I've loved sharing with you. You're a wonderful, wonderful, sensitive audience. Thank you.
Oh, and we thank you so much. It was so beautiful. What a Friday night.
Everybody, unmute yourselves and give all the love you have.
Spectacular feature,
Woo!
Karen.
Beautiful,
Spectacular.
Oh, that was just so
word.
wonderful to hear.
Great job, Queen. The pieces are beautiful.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. And just thank you for being here, my little poetry enclave, my poetry gang. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you again so much, Karen, for that feature. It was beautiful, beautiful. I love the flow of it all too. It was very well. It lifted my spirits some. I needed that.
Good, good. So glad for that.
Yes, yes, mine too, actually. I needed that.
All right, so we're gonna keep this thing going. We have plenty of poets to follow. Coming up next, we have Marianne Tefft, who I believe you've been here at Open Minds before, or have I just seen you at other Open Minds? You've came here before, right? Yeah. Well,
I think
welcome
I
back.
was here once, Thomas,
Yeah,
some good while back.
yeah. Well,
And thank you for having me again. It's really a pleasure tonight. Karen, just such a lovely, lovely feature. Thank you so much for this. You poet friends, I would like to read two short pieces here tonight. The first of them comes from, the place that, we find our inspiration absolutely everywhere. And this is a poem about really not sleeping very well lately. Afraid to sleep at night, for my nightmares rise by daylight too. I fear to meet the eyes of strangers with those that have failed to see the beauty in others so many times before. I struggle beneath the weight of baggage that burdens reason and stills my dreams, yet I cling to it as my fondest possession. I am told I compensate for gaps that none but I can detect, even as my reservoir fills with bitter debris and withers in scorching sun. Indecision climbs into my lap to fasten its insatiable mouth to my skin, where it cannot be dislodged by ceaseless rumination nor little budged by a restless pen. I am afraid to sleep at night, for my nightmares rise by daylight too. And then just this morning, as I started, the scrolling that we are too much habituated to, I saw an African proverb about words being given to the ones who will use the voice. And it made me think of this. Strong words are sent to those whose pens will dare to write them. Strong voices are a gift to those whose height will hear them sing. Strong feet are born to those who plant the firm foundations. Strong hands are shared to those who draw the weaker up. Come to haunt the ones who cannot be controlled. Strong hearts are born to those whose center always leads. Decisions are the realm of those who bravely weigh life's choices. Clear sight becomes a boon to those whose light stares darkness down. Thank you, poet friends.
everybody, unmute yourself. Give it up for Marianne.
Wow,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Feature. Come back to
I
us.
love the way you looped
Yeah.
the first poem.
Come back, come back.
Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate it.
Yes,
Great
welcome
job.
back, and we hope to
Great
hear
job,
more from you.
Marianne. As I said in the comments, I understand that insomnia, um, those nightmares
Yeah, I
that
felt that too.
That opening line. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Definitely. All right, so we have another person who we haven't seen in quite some time. In fact, actually, a few of us have seen him on Wednesday, which I want to thank you again, Mr. Witz, for allowing me to go first so I could hit the road. And yeah, I got to listen to everybody and perform my piece, and it was a fun Wednesday, man. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, if you could unmute yourself and bless us with some words, brother, I'd really appreciate it.
Definitely, brother. I appreciate you joining us last night. Well, Wednesday night. It was an amazing show. Greetings to everybody in the room. I'm gonna do two quick pieces. That's okay. The first one is entitled Conversations. It's kind of how I'm feeling right now. It's raining today outside, but I feel it inside, and I'm drenched. Although it's cold, the wet can be refreshing. I talked belief back into a man today. Talked him back to believing in who he is. The way of the world had weighed him so he had forgotten his own greatness. Some days I'm tall, overflowing with confidence, tall like oblong images shadowed on city buildings. Those days when God's sun has shone brightest on a man. I remember my construction, every floor, every ceiling, from my lowest load-bearing part of the building. So no matter how high up the roof may seem, my feet will always be planted. Some days I'm short, like when a man's pockets don't amount to his dreams, like when his dreams don't equate with his reality. I talk him out of delusion and into observation, out of what he wants and into what he needs, so his actions can be more than a gripping at the walls of his current slump. I speak 33 levels of his spinal column. The only way I knew he'd understand. The steps he took to get here, footprints he made, even when stepping in another's. Some days I'm fat, like when a man's family wants more of him, like when his woman can't get enough of him. I talk him out of egocentricity and into philanthropy, out of his escape and into their embrace. Those days when the toll has taken the last of him, I speak love into his heart so that he will remember when tunnel visioning the chase of your dreams, it's easy to blind eye what means the world to you. Some days I'm thin, like the line between love and hate. Thin like the line between wrong and right. When life pushes a man to tightrope decision, I talk his crown to nirvana, back to enlightenment, back in connection with the universe. I meditate his thoughts to free him the weight of trying to balance on those thin lines, on those thin wires. Some days I'm pale, like inadequacy, like when a man's efforts are unconvincing. I see his puddled reflection when he is down on himself, and I speak him back to posture, shoulder square with his feet. I speak pride of his heritage, his strong-willed lineage. I talk the alignment in his back so he can continue to walk with his head high. Some days I'm black, like target in back of gun range. Black like insomniac memory. Poster boy for bullets if they even remember me. When a man vision clouds in the fog of his maverick, I speak him out of insignificance, out of invisibility, out of inessential haze, and its enlightenment. How windows become the mirrors of travel when talking to myself. Peace.
Wow, everybody unmute yourselves and give it up for Mr. Witz.
Thank you, Mr. Witz.
That was
Yeah, that
awesome.
was gorgeous.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Awesome pieces.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
And I got one more I would like to share.
Definitely,
Okay.
definitely.
Go ahead.
This piece is called Success is in the Confirmatory Smile of Understanding. I am a man who was known for having a sense of trade. Along the journey, I've been given many names, from black market to bootleg, peddler, and vendor. Some have even called me the hustler. Being a street merchant can put your face on a statement made of belittlement. I'd have to admit, it wasn't easy to see a profit out of peddling imagination. Finding ways to word support in a community of those who'd work hard for their money versus the loosened palms of those accustomed to survive existing in a panhandling situation. An open trunk and a table on the street had the attiring of a con artist. Only those with self-sufficient aspirations would support such an entrepreneurial excavation. Yet I used to tie my success to the number of sales that I made. In a world where dollars made the most sense, profiting off of a couple book sales could feel like rubbing two coins together. It took more than tribulations for me to understand the value of my messages didn't come with price tags. Something I admit I lost sight of when I barcoded a worth on the binding. At the same time, I limited its understanding by not allowing it to get in the heads and hands of those it was mostly written for. The ones with funding equivalencies that advocated their education. Experience that was taken captive to limit contingency through destitution. For those unread words, unheard and unspoken, that I found in audacity before I wrote it, I've learned it wasn't for those who chose the book, but for those the book had chosen. So if tomorrow's kids are truly the future, I pray they will learn from our mistakes. And instead of drowning in our paths, they'll make larger prints in the sand. I worked harder to get my noting into those youthful hands. Today I count my successions by the amount of times that I can make my children smile. It took me some time, but I realize now that growing their hearts big was always my mission. So if the Most High decides my existence in physical form has reached its date, I can accept the change, the release of my spirit from this captive shell casing, knowing that my harvested seeds have bloomed into fine organic fruit, just the way he intended them to be when he sought out to utilize me, waiting my hands to carry the hefty messaging of his pen, encouraging every deadlift curl to keep me in shape. lining the cloaked underlay to keep the youth awake. Success is in the confirmatory smile of one understanding. Love is the only way back to God. I only hate that it took me this long to figure out that part. Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody, unmute yourselves and give it up for Mr. Witz.
Mr. Woods.
Witz is such a genius. I just love your work.
Thank you.
Every time.
Yeah, it hit me, man. I feel you. So I used to see these on the streets too, man, until the cops started messing with me. I know the feeling, man. You know, good shit.
Now I understand why you do poetry, because it came to you, now you bring it to others. So that's the work, you know?
Indeed, well said. I always say my Adam's apple is for the desk of the Most High. And he utilizes us all. We are all doing his work, even when we don't understand our messaging.
And we need that. We need that. Definitely.
Fact. Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Definitely, man. Hey, thanks for coming through tonight. And if y'all ain't checking out Mr. Witz's open mic on Wednesdays, y'all need to. I'll make it whenever I can. It's amazing. Yeah, if you could drop some details for us, for everyone who doesn't know, that would be amazing. Yeah, thank you again so much, man. Thanks for being here tonight, man. I appreciate it. It's a pleasure hearing you every time.
Thank you for having me, brother.
All right, so next on our list, we've got Amadeus. Amadeus, if you could unmute yourself and bless us with some words, I'd appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Um, uh, Good morning from the Philippines. And the piece that I'm about to recite is actually a combination of three poets here in Open Minds. Because you see, I've been studying everyone's works for the past few weeks, like the choice of words, the theme they usually approach in the game, and the intonation of it. So, with that said, the three poets that uh, I like to pay tribute to would be Nona Lea, Marianne Tefft, and myself. And the title of this poem is called Her Name is Sybil. She is adorned with intricate designs, tendrils of hair caress her cheek, as lace and ruffles flow down her skin. Mortals fancy her as she dances and spins. Her name is Sybil. Her presence is like wildflowers, with the aroma of roses so delicate speak, as mortals breathe in her presence, both sweet and new. Her aphrodisiac scent just grew, and my spirit was renewed. Her name is Sybil. Her very being can be found in the wilderness, where her power and nature reign supreme, like brushstrokes on canvas, free and wild. Each one adds depth, creating a profound beauty. Her name is Sybil. Her movements are nature's mystery, surrounding every move she makes. She shares her secrets through dreams. Only devout followers can hear her call. Her name is Sybil. The soil is enriched with an untold story. The clay beneath our feet holds secrets true. Her fancy dress adorns her like a work of art. And in the intimacy of this moment, mortals can feel her elements blend in harmony. So I say in your eyes a wildfire gleams. Your fancy captivates me. You are a true delight. Every whiff of your aroma takes me on a heavenly flight. In the wilderness of your presence, I am lost in your mystery. As my heart beats faster with you by my side as I stand still. You have blessed me 1,000-fold, my one and only Sybil. Thank you.
Thank you,
Oh,
Amadeus.
thank you.
Yeah,
That
my
was
mom has a plant that's 50 years old named Sybil, and everywhere we moved to, she always brought a piece of her, and we grew her.
yeah.
And
I
so,
still have her. She's right here in my front room. She's beautiful. She brings me
Wow.
delight.
Man, it's so
everybody.
awesome that your mom is in here. That's so beautiful. And thank you for that dedication piece too, brother. That was beautiful as well.
Yeah.
That was so interesting. I never would have thought pitting like me and Marianne together, but that ended up being like a perfect blend.
Yeah, I've noticed both of your works have similarities. So I've noticed that you have a fondness for Greek mythology, and Marianne is more like the a nature lover, if you notice. So I just uh, put two and two together, if you know what I mean.
Excellent, excellent. Well done.
And the spelling of Sybil is she's an entity actually. It's Sybil. Yeah, but if you look at her picture, she doesn't look pretty.
Oh, well, mine's beautiful. That's nice.
Yeah, thanks so much for that piece, Amadeus. We appreciate it, man. I love your poetry, man. Like every week too, like you come with a different style, and like you you really pay homage to other people's styles and kind of blend it all and get inspired by us. And that's I think what we're all here for, right? Is to inspire each other and be inspired by each other. So yeah, I appreciate it, man. That was a beautiful piece. All right, so coming up next, we got my brother Frog Corpse. Frog Corpse, if you could unmute yourself and bless us with some words, I'd appreciate it.
When dead goldenrod turns silver by the change in November, the drowsy days shiver at the sigh of old man winter. In the stillness of the plumage, still reads stand with hallmark refusal, planted in their objective roles to decay hastily as their bloomings. Across the vale in March, carrying clouds call aloft, by and down the river's edge, hounded by dogged thoughts, badgering on dampened brows, heart-struck memories breaking ground, sickened and cut down, footsteps weigh this sentence soundless. Homesickness is in the missing you, in the missing we, though the missing's through. This verse is want, as the wanting knew. This couplet comprises an absent you. Sephora Turnus, mind's archival keep. Further the time, the stronger the need. Eyes to the death, the blade tear my cora. Anemic and Aphroditic, pouring soul from Stygian fora. So rend me, as Pontus pilots, a red sea of Inri mocking the Dolorosa. Coffin cuffed to the stormhead, endless drinking, drowned by oblivion, a leaping stream bled out. A corpse-filled gawk of a songless thrush, heightened by a vulture. Fittic fields dose stamping rings, a mud message from resting hooves, a cattle felk of my calligraphy, piling on this poem. Thank you.
Yo, unmute and give it up for Frog Corpse.
I love the way.
That's the first time I think I've heard you use the word corpse in the context and the writing, and it's beautiful work.
Definitely, definitely. I might try that one day, just to jump in like that, the way you did. No intro, no nothing. That was awesome. I absolutely love that.
As a poet, the only thing I know how to do.
Oh shit.
Has anyone ever asked you the origin of your namesake? I know that's probably the most tired question, but I've only known you a little bit through Ron Whitehead and
Yeah.
here.
I've been called Frog since I've been born, so that's always been just a thing. and it's been pretty much accepted with people around me as that is what it is, you know. Never had to question. Other people out, I guess, have questioned it, but yeah, Corpse didn't come later. There's a lot of stuff that went into that. Of course, I didn't earn my nickname. Corpse is a quick one. Ended up attempting suicide when I was 12. That's what the fucking kids called me when I survived. And then I took it and I said, you know, fucking ran with it, whatever. And then as I grew up, I became more morbidly drawn to dark humor, dark art. So they just thought I was a freak. Also, I was the only one that passed the fucking biology test in the dissection of the frog, ironically, too, growing up. And then finally, when I hit the stage and fucking performed metal for the first time, someone said I fucking killed it. So he was like, "God damn, Frogg Corpse," and that's it.
Wow, what a story!
Man, shit, I
Wow,
never knew that either. Thanks for sharing that with us, man.
yeah, that's a share. Thank you. Got to interview you someday. Have you ever done an interview? Do you know what's his name? Dr. Michael Anthony Ingram? They should
Yeah,
give you his name.
yeah, that first and only interview poetry guys. Also done one with, I forgot his name, but he's from Tazewell, Virginia. He used to do the a chaos podcast. But yeah, no, Dr. Ingram actually is the only person that has, well, not anymore. Thomas has started, but Ingram actually officially is the only person to actually have me read for an hour nonstop, with no interruptions or
Wow.
and stuff. But yes, has questioned me after the fact through the program. Yeah, he's a
Wow.
wonderful man.
Yeah, he took part in my I know this next reader's up next, so stop me, but this is a little interlude here, I guess. If you don't know who Dr. Michael Anthony Ingram is, he's a Washington D.C. podcaster who has interviewed over 300 poets. I was just I think he just gets the name from the name from the name and he goes on, but he's really good. He was involved. He was the host of a podcast that I started, but I only produced 2 of them and haven't released them yet, called The Word Show. And I hope to continue that someday. I think that's one of the reasons I contacted you on the heels of that. But to be continued, and thank you for all that. Back to the show, folks, and our grand host there. All right, let's give it up. Give it up for the host.
Yeah, so Frog, I wanted to thank you. For those of y'all that heard that piece that I read at the beginning of the show, Frog, I read it to Frog, and he gave me some pointers because he's just like I just love chatting with Frog, man. I'll call him and we'll talk for hours, and he had some really good insight on where I should go with that piece, and I've actually rewritten it. He hasn't heard the final version of it yet, but I'll have to read it for him one day. But yeah, thanks so much, Frog, man. We love you, brother. Coming up next, though, we had Coach Ja in the house, but I believe he left. So we're gonna go on to the next person, and we'll keep Coach Ja on the list as tentative, just in case he pops back in. We could throw him in the list there. Um, yeah, so coming up next, we got my boy Cozzy Coz. Coz is gonna be featuring for us at the first Friday in January. We're gonna start it off with the ABCs, bring it back to the basics with the ABC poem from Cozzy Coz. Y'all make sure you don't miss it. Yeah, brother, if you could bless us with some words, I'd appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Always a pleasure, man. Hello, everyone. I hope everybody is doing well. I have been going nuts these last few days, and just it's caught up to me, man. Like I literally had to like take a nap just to get onto here today because I was completely drained. Something you have to listen to your body. Rest is just as important as all that you have to do. Remember that rest is just as important. Well, for tonight, and so I was going to. It's a kind of a short poem. It's titled One day I came to the confusion that finding my happiness is my own responsiveness. It occulted to me while I was delving home from work. Now, I've said this repeatedly time and time again, but it's hard to get people's undivided affection. We live in a hypocrisy. So we as a people can erect who we want as our fearless lemur. Our cynical rights allow us to express our constraints and our credences in a proper doormat. Therefore, we need to open the lines of continuation. Continuation is the key. We've been through too many trials and triangulations to be ignored. I reprimand those who never had a voice. My binary focus is enduring that everybody has the same objectivities as everyone else. It's only fair. The state of humanity is at an all-time low. The importance of hooligan interaction is extremely under-excavated. It is vital to the spherical rejubilation of our feces. I do curtly and most defecatedly hope that I can change enough pupils' minds to make a substandard difference in today's sobriety. Thank you.
Yo, everyone, unmute and give it up for Cozzy Coz.
Cozzy Coz and the Cozographer of Cozzy.
Awesome, Cozzy.
You're a
Yeah.
Cozographer.
Wonderful.
Cozographer, that's a
Cozzy
great
Coz.
Because all what you do with words, I think we need to call him the Cozographer.
Right?
I don't like names. I don't usually do names. I'm not for them. I think sometimes they can wear out and wear backwards, but that just hit me because you do something with words that very few do. It's like every time you come to a new style, you invent a new genre.
Right.
The
Feel like you're telling
Cozographer.
two
I don't
stories
know,
at the same
man. I don't know.
time.
You got to give me the green light on that.
Yes, absolutely. Please. It is an honor to have that. May I, please?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You can quote me on it then. All right.
It's
Better than a
very
bitch slap.
befitting.
I'm honored. So
Definitely.
honored. Thank you.
Yeah, man, your vocabulary and the way you link it all together is just, it blows my mind, man. And you're another one too who I can get on the phone with and just sit and talk for hours, man. Like, I love you, brother. Thanks for coming through and sharing that with us, man.
So I love playing with words. I love playing with words in the different ways that you could, because they're amazing. In all different types of contexts. And yeah, I like having fun with them.
People are going to want to read your work though, because stage page, that's a hard thing to do, to be good on the stage and the page and have them both work equally strong. Like at first I thought you were going to end every word. The word was going to come at the end. So I knew where to listen to, but they happen at the middle, at the beginning, on the side. So I think now I want to see them.
I actually finished my book. It's an anthology. I just need to figure out how to get it published.
Okay, yeah, you, me, and the rest of the people in these squares. But yeah, we figured. Let's share the answer to that question.
I'm sorry?
Are you thinking of self-publishing?
Yes, I would like to.
I would stay away from Vanity Press, but that's up to you. Vanity Press means you sell one book at a time, and they make 90%. And if you want to sell it, you get maybe out of $20, you might get 2.
Damn, no.
Yeah, you want to do print-on-demand services. That's really
it used to be called Vanity Press.
I will discuss it with you how I did my last book. I love to brainstorm with people about how we should all get our books out. So my email address. Yeah.
I'm there. I'm there for that meeting. Write me down, write me up, call me, and let's meet.
Okay. I'll put my email address in the chat yet again. That's one of my topics that I am interested in and know a few things about. And so I'll put my email address in the chat.
And there are ways to do ebooks too. I've looked into it of like how to do an ebook, especially with like visual poetry and how to format that. So I do have some solutions for that if you're interested in making an e-version.
All right, I'll help schedule a meeting to pull this off. Anybody who wants to do that, just put yes, I'll meet, and I'll connect the emails and make a list and send it out. We can pick a time. All right, Cal, you got OpenMinds does it again.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah,
Plants
bring them
another
together,
seed. There's
man.
another
Yeah,
tree about to
yeah.
grow.
Yeah. Definitely. All right. So coming up next, this young gentleman is one of my wife and I's favorite poets. And he's gonna do a feature for us. We haven't landed on the exact date, but it's gonna be either January or February. We're still trying to work out the dates for everything because we like to kind of go in order, you know, and kind of mix it up. And so we're gonna see where we're gonna land on a date that works for everybody. But yeah, Dre. If you could unmute yourself and bless us with some words, I'd appreciate it, brother.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? So I just want to say, I mentioned in the chat there, I do publish. I've been starting up like this community press of sorts. What I'm trying to do is trying to get people published, and I'm not looking for any sort of payment whatsoever. This is what I call a community service to local artists, and this could be an opportunity to stretch upon Manchester, New Hampshire. So, Cozzy, we can discuss. Instagram at DreRay90. Anyway, let's get on to the poetry. All right, so let's get cracking here. Come on. So this one's called Kicking Imposter Syndrome in the Face. To my fellow poets who are prone to the influence of imposter syndrome, competing in poetry slams can potentially gaslight you into thinking that you suck. This isn't rocket science or Steiner math. The anxiety of your arts clicking with the judges multiplied by self-fulfilling prophecy equates to a really garbage case of imposter syndrome. Please keep in mind that numbers are just numbers. At the end of the day, numbers mean less than jack shit. Don't let a number prevent you from self-publishing or going on tour. No one is going to be remembering the score, but they'll remember the poem and the message that is being sent from orated audience. Do not let a number mislead you into thinking that you are not cut out for this craft. Art, like life itself, is subjective. We all experience the same things differently. Don't let imposter syndrome stray you away from the stage, the microphone, the sanctuary. This is the way. Step inside. You can be vulnerable here. We will catch you if you fall. You got in for 3 minutes. May your performance be a prayer to Apollo that will be answered in the form of. So that's one. I got another one here. It's kind of seasonal. It has like a fun twist to it. If anybody is familiar with Mick Foley, the wrestler, he also does this Santa gig. So I kind of like played around with that. And this is what I came up with. 1. A child is moments away from realizing a fantasy. Meeting Santa Claus and getting that moments encapsulated infinitely in the form of a digital still image, a magical moment caught in time. Seconds away from being summoned to Santa, the kid's heart begins to beat so fast, it's almost as if their heart was set on vibrate mode. Thoughts rushing like eager shoppers on Black Friday, for they have manifested this moment, this day, for way too long for it to not go perfect. The following 60 seconds will be the most starstruck seconds of their life. What felt like an hour was actually a flash in time as the photo is taken with Santa, followed by a hug and a boisterous Merry Christmas, have a nice day. In the few seconds, the kid notices some rather fascinating physical features that weren't depicted in traditional lore. 4 missing teeth and a missing right ear. but still contained every ounce of Christmas warmth as imagined. As the kid walks away, the mall announces that it'll be closing in 5 minutes, cueing the crew to pack up. Santa limbers his way up from his throne and made his way back to his vehicle as he takes some moments to himself before setting out for his next gig. 2. I am moments away from meeting a childhood hero of mine. Professional wrestling has always caught my eye as an artistic medium that depicts good versus evil and amplified escape from the real world, a fantasy most can't understand, but a spectacle no one can deny. Wherever you see someone who's relatively unconventional become such a success while still being wholesome, humble, and super chill, you can't help but feel like you can achieve anything you set your mind to. I wrestled semi-professionally for 12 years throughout New England, and probably the most important lesson I learned as a performer is not about wins and losses. It's the art of getting over, the ability to connect with the audience, the ability to give the ultimate lasting impression. And often the case for me, it was me taking that one bump no one else was willing to take. When it comes to the art of getting over through self-sacrifice, Mick Foley was the Leonardo da Vinci of this physical art form. Seeing the man will himself to finish a match after falling off and through a 20-foot steel cage was the most badass thing 7-year-old me saw. The fall, the crash, commentary freaking out, that pop from the crowd, but most of all, that hell-bent determination to fight through the pain. I learned from Mick Foley how to fight through whatever life throws at me and smile through the pain. As one of my biggest influences in wanting to wrestle, meeting Mick Foley brought out the inner kid in me. It was as if I was a kid meeting Santa Claus. With a smile as warm as Christmas, he reached out and shook my hand, took a photo with me, and personally thanked him. It was a dream come true. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Everyone unmute and give it up for Drake.
Woo!
Yeah, Dre.
Love that.
Oh, and I put that in the chat. When he was said like Leonardo DiCaprio, Leonardo da Vinci, something like that happened to me in high school. That was hilarious. Thank you.
All right, looks like we got
I'm
Coach
so glad it's
Josh showed
relatable.
back up. So, we were gonna go on to Cee Santos, but since Coach Josh showed back up, he was tentative. We're gonna go ahead and have him go before you, see. I hope you don't mind. And then we'll go with you next. So yeah, Coach Ja, it's good to see you again, brother. If you could unmute yourself and bless us with some words, I'd appreciate it.
What's up, bro? I'm actually just getting back in because I have a 2-year-old who always needs something. So, you know what I mean? But yeah, let me try to jump in and get something real quick while we're here. Hopefully everybody's doing all right. Let me get to where I need to be. Okay. I hate having to connect this way, living under this blanket that can't give me comfort. Seems I'm fighting for nothing. Purpose has yet to make sense these days, and I'm already 51. I've spent decades trying to walk on my own, but it's not fun, and it doesn't feel safe. And somehow someone's eyes always find me drunk or unprepared, so they paint me whatever color they love. And every flavor they use bronzes the shining gift of this lifetime. I've wondered how this happened. And who prayed for this? How would this become my rite of passage? Maybe no one prayed at all. And I've become hopeless, and God ignored what I couldn't ask for. I know I lose the words often, whisper, help me, instead of yelling out, thank you. I'd much rather sit at a riverbed and wash my feet in salt water, hoping somehow some God could wade me out of this sin. I know, sin. It's a big word. Easily fitting in any equation. Maybe that's why they wrote the Bible in the first place. Someone needed a person to point a finger. I don't know what God said, but being the firstborn, no, that ain't it. You see, no one protected me or became a hero in my language that felt safe enough. You see, no one gave me an idea that this didn't please them first. I'm always the bad guy. The one who found a rhythm and decided to make it into a melody. He who swallowed everything I was force-fed and still licked my fingers. See, I poem because shit hurts. And pain looks better on paper when poem finds new work. So I poem battle rap until sonnets made me safe, because all I had left was a bad relationship and secrets that will line my coffin, meaning closed case. I poem until someone heard me. I poem because no one hears me at all. I poem because no way this spilling this sauce and hiding the bullhorn beneath this solid tone that makes everyone else feel safe can find me, and still I never stay in the correct shirt. I'm always dressed in the wrong colors. I am a problem child walking in this grown man's body, a spoiled spirit, free versing my way into someone's misfortune. At least that's how it feels. A raisin left to rot in a rising sun, needing shelter with no one I can find some right now, unless I'm talking from someone else or borrowing the same space. The space I missed when I was young, when all I needed was a little more attention, when manning up became a catchphrase I learned way too early. I just wanted some right now time. A chance to know mom and dad without someone else interfering. So maybe that is selfish. But being the firstborn, it gave me the right to want to hold on a little longer. Hold on to everything that belonged to me first. Again, being firstborn is cute, but it ain't never been easy.
Yo, Ja, that was dope. Everybody unmute yourself and give it up for Coach Ja.
Beautiful. Firstborn here.
Yeah.
Testify.
Amazing.
Not easy.
Oh yeah.
Poem. Oh, I love it. That's gonna be
Appreciate
stuck in my head, man. As I'm writing everything, I'm just gonna be hearing it. Yo, poem because it is. You know, that.
I wasn't the firstborn, but I relate to it. Most people I know that are, that's a tough slot. Lead off hitter. You're the experiment. The little one gets all the gravy. The youngest usually.
The youngest one gets all the gravy, man, and the oldest, like, everything falls on your shoulders, right?
The
And then
guilt.
I'm the firstborn son on top of that. So it's like double, you know what I mean? And not taking anything less from women, but this the
Firstborn daughter,
son. Yeah,
firstborn daughter. You should hear the history of that story. You couldn't even get married. You were
I'm
obligated
afraid.
till death to take care of mom and dad. That used to be one of the old school traditions in some cultures. If you were firstborn female, you could not marry. You were obliged to take care of your parents to death.
Wow.
That's so that lightens your load right there. There are some firstborns that pull it off, though. So
I think that's the culture I come out of, but I managed to escape that yoke of servitude.
Yeah.
Yoke,
well,
nice
my
word.
parents died young. My mom was 44, my dad was 50, so there was no taking care of anyone. They were gone, so yeah, I missed it.
Yeah.
Yo, Coach Shaw, man, thank you so much for that piece, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate you coming back through. Yeah, it's always a pleasure to hear you. Hope to hear more of you. Yeah, man.
Appreciate it, bro. Thanks for having me back, man.
Anytime, man. Anytime. All right, coming up next, we got Cee Santos. Yo, I've been thinking of some nicknames for you because you're just so powerful when you read and like, oh, like you just, I'm gonna start calling you like CP Santos or something. But yeah, see if you could
I
unmute
love it.
yourself and
I love
bless us
it.
with some
Thank
words.
you.
I'd appreciate it.
We're gonna shift the mood just a little bit, so hopefully who me can bring the mood back up. But I only have one poem for y'all today. It's called Letter to My Childhood Self. Dear me, remember the time I used to spin around, eyes closed, the cool air on my face, a dizzy moment of peace, a moment to think. I would think about my day, the things that made my mental go gray, my future, bright but blue, what I wanted to be, who would I blossom into? A magician, a writer, interior designer, or someone who makes clothes. I was told I'll never be good at any of those. I am sorry I am not who you thought I'd be. No one expected me to just be me. I was supposed to die before turning 18. A soldier to the mind, a fighter of ongoing mental battles, surviving the generational curse traumas, while no one hearing our inner cries, to feel, welcome hope, to have a future as big as my sleeping soul. To be an outsider looking in, to be sad and depressed, unable to escape all the chaos in our heads, to give love without being loved back. You know the vibes, and energy only the broken users and abusers I seem to attract. Remember that time using was all we had, downing shot after shot because liquor knew me best, drinking to numb the pain and hurt, the feeling of knowing you were never wanted, not even at birth. The fat shaming, name calling, addiction was my only support. A bottle, the one thing who couldn't talk trash or talk back, who never lied to my face or acted fake. Out drinking the best of them while making sure I did not break. Feeling alone, except for that bottle waiting for me at home. We fought that inner demon a long time ago. I'm sorry for not loving you when I should have. I'm sorry you grew up too fast. Understanding the coldness of the world at a young age, neglecting you was my worst mistake. I should have protected you, done more. Love you in a way the sun hugs the clouds. A love only food lovers know when they are about to chow down. I will fall so madly in love with you. No one else will be in my field of vision. Be so strong for you. People will cower at the sight of me moving mountains. I will take all the love I have left and put it in a jar. Put that jar so high up, no one can reach it unless they are on my level. Raise my love so high, you'll see God dancing with the devil. I am strong like stone, as soft as the sand under your feet, as smooth as the ocean waves dancing on beat. We survived. I survived, with or without faith. Dear younger me, do not cry. Let me wrap my arms around you and embrace those tear-streaked eyes. Eyes of a fighter, a warrior, a queen, a misunderstood first glance, who no one gave a chance. We will win the battle and the war. One day we'll be able to fly free and soar, be as fierce as stray cats caught in a downpour. I am sorry you have carried yourself as if, I'm sorry, y'all. My pages were mixed up. Okay. I am sorry you have carried yourself as if your body is made of armor, having to shield away all the hurtful comments. Flesh be damned for wearing this fat body as a badge of honor, in honor of confidence and determination. Ignore the glares and stares. The world is afraid of a plus size who loves themselves, afraid of plus size bodies moving up on the money scale. I know you did not expect to carry the weight of the past on your shoulders, no matter how much you change and become better. Take a rest, unload. I am a mother, photographer, creative, a poet, child, the list goes on, chin up, we are survivors. I am the glue that holds the household together, the one people come to for comfort, to vent, the one who understands what it's like to constantly be told, hell no, because I am not thin. To be an outsider looking in, to be sad and depressed, unable to escape all the chaos in our heads, to give love without being loved back. You know the vibes and energy only the broken users and abusers I seem to attract. I'm sorry that I have to repeat this page. I got all mixed up with the pages. Remember that time using was all we had, downing shot after shot because liquor knew me best, drinking to numb the pain and hurts, the feeling of knowing you were never wanted, not even at birth, the fat shaming, name calling, addiction was my only support, a bottle, the one thing who couldn't talk trash or talk back, who never lied to my face or acted fake. I drinking the best of them while making sure I did not break. Feeling alone, except for that bottle waiting for me at home. We fought that inner demon a long time ago. I'm sorry for not loving you when I should have. I'm sorry you grew up too fast. Understanding the coldness of the world at a young age, neglecting you was my worst mistake. I should have protected you, done more. Love you in a way the sun hugs the clouds, a love only food lovers know when they're about to chow down. I will fall so madly in love with you, no one else will be in my field of vision. Be so strong for you, people will cower at the sight of me moving mountains. I will take all the love I have left and put it in a jar. Put that jar so high up, no one can reach it unless they are on my level. Raise my love so high, you'll see God dancing with the devil. I am strong like stone, as soft as the sand under your feet, as smooth as the ocean waves dancing on beat. We survive. I survive, with or without faith. Dear younger me, do not cry. Let me wrap my arms around you and embrace those tear-streaked eyes. Eyes of a fighter, a warrior, a queen, a misunderstood first glance who no one ever gave a chance. We will win the battle and the war. One day we'll be able to fly free and soar, be as fierce as stray cats in a downpour. I will love you like no other. I'm sorry for everything, younger me, for everything we could not be, but we'll make it, you'll see. Sincerely, me.
Wow, see everybody unmute and give it up for Cee
Okay,
Santos.
C, there is no need to apologize for mixing up. What you're just doing is releasing a DJ version of your work.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, loved it.
Yeah, right on.
Profoundly awesome. Word. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to start calling you CP Santos, cause yeah, thanks. I love it. So good. Coming up next, we've got one of one of my favorite gentlemen. Um, he hosts his own open mic. Let's unmesh life. Unmesh Mohitkar. If you could unmute yourself and bless us with some words, I would greatly appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Great to see you. Hello, everyone. Here we go. This is an old poem, but I don't know. I just wanted to read it. Here we go. No, no, no. It's not fair in love. All is not fair in love and war. So many poems, movies, and books written about love. Love is business. Love is war. Love is fight. Love is flight. If love goes out of the business, economy will tank. Love is searching in nothingness. Love, is it reality or just a chemical reaction to add flavor to life? The kissing, the missing, the loving, the cuddling, the fighting, caring, crying, dying, waiting. Don't get me wrong. I completely get it. Falling in love, love at first sight, love without boundaries, love song drenched in rain, love suffering in vain. All is fair in love and war. 15th century quote. Still used, misused, and abused. No, no, no. Everything is not fair in love and war. This favors the rich and the strong to hide their wrongs, sell their love songs, kick people like ping pong balls. It has ruined so many lives and countries, empty people, lonely in jam-packed bazaars of loveless hearts. No, no, no. All is not fair in love and war. The romantic concept of love, myth for me. Love might exist or not, but I see the lonely, forlorn eyes looking into infinity in waiting. The search for love is immortal. Few people love the search more than the love. Once love is found, search is dead. Imagine searching for something which might not exist at all. This is something very strong. The very basic foundation of human society lies on something which might not exist at all. But still, I say, all is not fair in love and war. My search for true love have taken me too far, so near, yet so far. Thank you.
Wow.
Yo, unmute
Awesome.
and give it up for man.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Unmesh. Buy his book. It's
Great to
great.
hear you.
Oh yes.
That's
Unmesh
super
love.
duper
I
amazing.
know.
Unmesh.
Thank you.
Unmesh, it's always so good hearing you, man.
Thanks a lot.
Buy that book. Let's unmesh life. All right. Coming up next, it looks like Cece moved over to the piano. Look at that. So I believe we're about to be serenaded. So CC, if you could unmute yourself and bless us with some whatever you got for us, I'd appreciate it. If he can get the unmute going.
Now,
There you go.
there it is. Got it? Okay, this is the only setup I have that does original sound. I've been working on, I think this is the only place I ever tried this song. Shit. It's gonna be the last page I look at. Watch. Oh shit! No, it's the War of No Heroes one. Did I ever do that here? War of No Heroes?
You know, I'm not sure.
Here it is.
But I
Here
would
it
love
is.
to hear it.
Here it is. Here it is.
I
here
for
it is.
sure haven't heard it.
Okay, this one here is an old song from way, way, way back on guitar when I used to get up at open mics way before the internet. And I tried an acoustic guitar singing thing. Stone Soup Poets. This one, let's see. Bear with me. This is. I was ready, but then I had to run over here. I don't. If you got a little bit of patience, I'm gonna be able to pull this off. You got a little patience for me?
Of course, man.
Oh, you're the best. You're the best. Okay. It's war now. There are no heroes. No voice insulting them. No. It's war now. There are no heroes. No voice insulting them. The life of peace begins here by grave results of children killed in a war. Innocence laid dead. He's gonna be pulling it off. I should have warmed it up. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do one that I know, and then if there's a second round, I may have to break and come back, but rather than do that, I'm gonna do Calm Down, because I think this is the one that you mentioned that you loved, that you wouldn't think the name of, but this is, I think this is that one. Here and now is, oh, okay. Here and now is when and where I observe my own mind. Here and now is when and where I observe my own mind. Here and now is where and when and when and where I observe my own mind, and I calm down. I calm down. I calm down. I calm down. I care for the sight of love is blind. My heart takes a rest and I sigh. And Shakespeare is the name of my dog. And I feel grateful, I feel home here and now.
side of the wind. As I share my alone with my peace of mind. As I catch my wild thoughts with a choice to calm them down. As the wars all around me survive just to die, still I feel grateful, I feel home here and now. Here and now is when and where I observe my own mind. Here and now is when and where and when I observe my own mind. Here and now is where and when I observe my own mind. And I calm down. I calm down. I calm down. I calm down. Then everything true hits a wall. And everything large discovers it's small. And everything out there is only within. And here comes fear's reasons to never trust love as one. But here and now is when and where I observe my own mind. Here and now is when and where and when I observe my own mind. Here and now is when and where I observe my own mind. And I calm down. I calm down. I calm down. I calm down. I calm down.
Yo,
That's
so
for
that
you,
wasn't that wasn't the one I was
What's up,
thinking of,
man?
but that's the one I needed to hear tonight. So I'm glad you played it. I'm really glad you
Okay.
played that, man. Everybody
Wow.
unmute yourself and give it
Very
up for
good.
Cece Arshagra.
Really
Thank you
beautiful.
for the
I needed
shakes.
that.
Yeah.
Woo!
Maybe
That's a lot of
I wanted to do.
Gorgeous.
It's called War of No Heroes, and I don't know. It'll come. I'll work it out. If there's a second round that I'm hearing around or back, then I will do it.
Definitely. Yeah, I want to hear that.
But I know Nemo's gonna play, so
Yeah,
that's
Nemo's gonna play, so yeah.
now you're gonna hear a musician versus a poet with the piano trying to get the voice out. But Nemo, I hear he could tickle those babies.
No,
like
let's not set any
Mozart's gonna
expectations.
come out of the closet, or Beethoven, or Bach, or Brahms, or somebody. That's what I hear.
Oh man.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much, CC. Appreciate you, brother. Really do, man.
All right.
And make sure you guys link up, man, in the emails and stuff and get this whole publishing thing worked out. Holler at Dre, figure out, get that little think tank going, and so we can all get published and.
Well, yeah, teach each other the stuff we know and the stuff we don't know. It'll be good, yeah. So I put the thing in with who got the email and not, and I'll try and make a group email, and then we can get it going from there. We'll pick a time or whatever. If anybody has you had a calendar app, with everybody's schedules. Anybody have one of those?
Yeah.
Scheduling apps. I tried one once, but scheduling apps.
Hi, I wanted to say that do any of you use Submittable?
Is that a scheduling app?
Occasionally.
No, Submittable is a publication website.
I've heard of it, but I haven't.
No, show up put your thing in and show up at this thing and share what you got.
I'll put it in the chat. I'll put the website in the chat.
All right.
Awesome. All right. So coming up next, we have the lovely Debby Segal. If you could unmute yourself and bless us with some lyrics, sister, I'd appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. And after I said it's so vibrant when Frogg doesn't do a preamble to his work, I'm going to do a little preamble. Okay, so this is a good segue into our conversation about publishing. This is the publication I self-published, and so I have a little experience on how to do that. Now, the unfortunate thing is that independent bookstores are bitching and whining all the time about people buying books from Amazon. However, if you self-publish a book on Kindle, which is basically Amazon, you can't put your fucking books into those independent booksellers' stores. Like, there's this complete blockage. They don't want to deal with independence as they go around crying about being independents that nobody supports. So that segues into this piece. This was a book of monologues that I wrote, and I published it last year. And it takes a different kind of crazy to publish than it does to poet or write. So we will brainstorm more on that. But this book is, this piece is called "In a World Where You Can Shop Anywhere, Shop Local." A former bookseller answers a question about a former entrepreneur. Andy Morrow wound up as a docent at the museum when the store he started went under after 11 years in business. Retail books, but a very special niche. On the morning of my first shift at Three Rings, I was home taking out the trash, wearing a pair of clogs. I stepped down wrong and my ankle went all the way lateral. It was bad. My first shift at my dream job, calling in sick was not an option. I was a key holder, a closer at the store, a key position. I did indeed manage to work that first closing shift at Three Rings. It was a big help that Andy Morrow considered it essential to have a bar stool behind the counter. Being able to rest my ankle a bit that night sustained me. "Andy, as fate would have it, I sprained my ankle today," I told him. "I really wanted to make a better first impression." "I have nothing to compare it to," Andy says. "Do the best you can. Here's the phone number of the bar where I'll be tonight. Call if you run into any snags." He was the nicest boss I ever had. That ankle was black and out to here. Bent, but not broken. And I succeeded in securing my dream bookseller job. But within a few years, Three Rings became one of the first casualties in some robber baron billionaire's blitz on brick and mortar bookstores. It wasn't in the cards to change our business model. A customer would browse, ask us questions, and we'd hand sell them books. Or perhaps they'd have a wish list and we'd run around the shelves with a basket and fill it. The staff knew our stock. and it was there on the shelves, not in the virtual world of the net. A brick and mortar circus bookstore, visiting authors lecturing on the art and craft of the circus, signing books on clowning, costume design, big top construction, ringmaster biographies, wild animal training, trapeze disasters. We carried it all. The clearance sale attracted your usual consumer vultures. 50% off, 60% off. Where were you when the profits were in the damn toilet? Not buying the damn books from us? Perusing our shelves? Purchasing from a website and crying crocodile tears at our demise? And he ranted rightfully on the final day of Three Rings clearance sale. We just couldn't win against a river in South America. Anyway, Andy Morrow, broke but not bent, landed on his feet. He's the head docent at the American Regional Museum of Circus Arts in Illinois. But this community lost a treasure trove of circus literature and lore. You can't buy happiness, but you can buy local. And that's kind of the same. When you buy from a small business, take it from me, an actual person does a little happy dance. Thank you.
Yeah, Debbie, I love your monologues. Everybody, unmute and
Thank
give it up for
you.
Debbie.
Yeah, Debbie. Yeah.
Debbie, that was fun. We love you. Love you, love you.
So I could sit, I could sit for hours and just hear all your stories. I'm
Good.
sure
I've
you
got
got a
more and I'll
bunch.
put them out there to you guys next time. But like I said, the independent bookstores need to kind of have our backs too as independent publishers. So I'm hoping that can happen some way. We can dream and brainstorm.
Right.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
definitely. All right, so coming up next, we've got Alex Phuong. Alex, if you could unmute yourself and bless us with some words, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, so this poem is called A Tradition of Inspiration, based on me falling in love with Jane Austen when Anne Hathaway played her in Becoming Jane, and 16 years later my book exists because I discovered Pride and Prejudice and stuff like that. But actually my first Jane Austen novel was Sense and Sensibility, for those of you who don't know. So a tradition of inspiration. Constant change does reveal how time itself can actually heal, especially since modern times have their own sense of the sublime, and as tradition impacts future generations, the possibility of transformation could create a way to appreciate how change is normal instead of strange for all people developed day by day, and having the courage to accept reality is perfectly okay, and then pave the way to a better day with the willpower to say that the future will look bright through adaptation day and night. Thank you.
Thank you. I love that piece. Everybody unmute and give it up for Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah, more,
Awesome.
Alex. There's another one.
Yeah,
Alex.
got it.
Oh, do you really want another one?
Yeah, if you want to read another one, we'd really appreciate that.
Okay, let me figure out what I want to say. Okay, well hold on, let me see. Well, let me just read it because I'm too tired to copy and paste right now. Sorry. Discovery throughout the journey. A journey that goes far beyond 1,000 steps could lead to a new way of living, while also remembering lessons from past experiences, and then experience the wonder of moving on from the rise of dawn until the dark of night. And by knowing that no one knows for sure what the future has in store, a way to cope with hope is to simply remain pure and endure the plight. And when the day is done, look back on carefree times when life was fun, and always remember that to help anyone in need without succumbing to sinful greed, for life itself is a gift indeed. So use the present moment to never lament and make time on earth well spent.
Yeah. Everybody unmute yourself and give it up for Alex.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Alex. Yeah.
Awesome, Alex.
Yeah.
We appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming through. And thank you for fighting the sleepies and staying up to share your poetry with us. We appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
All right, so that's gonna conclude our night. And Nemo says that he wants to play us out tonight. So yeah. Nemo, if you could unmute
Go
yourself and
Nemo.
tickle on my ivory, well, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. What an absolutely wonderful evening. Thank you, everybody. I'm gonna play Chopin Prelude, Chopin's Prelude in E minor. Volume check. Yeah, you can hear that.
Actually, hold on, Nemo. It is a little low. We
Low.
had you there for a bit, and yeah, it was a.
Better?
Yeah, a little better there. Do another little sound.
Oh,
You gotta turn
I
on the
know what's
original
wrong.
sound.
I know what's
Yeah.
wrong. It's that from you, isn't it is that
Yeah,
gone?
original
The thing for
audio for
musicians?
musicians. It should still be available. I haven't looked in the settings in a while, but it should still be there. Let's see. Audio.
It used to just be up here in the corner, but I don't see
No.
it.
Yeah, so go into your settings and then audio and then audio profile. It'll have original sound for musicians.
I'm sorry, where's the settings?
On the Zoom window, on the top right
Okay.
corner, there's the little cog. The settings button. And that should open up the window, and then in audio, about halfway down there, you'll see audio profile. It has original sound for musicians.
I don't have a cog. Sorry, I'm looking. I'm on a PC.
I'm on PC2 here. Hold on. I wonder if I could share screen and actually show if it'll show the Zoom window. Let me see. Can you see that there?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Do you have the settings button here?
What I can see is your notepad.
Oh, so it
Yeah,
won't
that's
show
your
the Zoom
notepad
window,
for the
huh?
intro.
Okay, so it's not showing the actual Zoom
Okay.
window then. Alright. Well, I guess Zoom won't show itself on Zoom. Let's see if there's another way to get to settings here.
Click on my profile picture. No.
Yeah, if you click on your profile picture down, if you scroll down towards the bottom, there is settings there. Just under help, above switch accounts.
Okay.
Yeah, Nemo, at the bottom of mine, I have participants, share screen, chat, show captions, reactions, settings. It's the little cog settings down at the bottom. And then you can click on
Participants,
that and
chat,
go to
share
audio.
screen summary, AI companion, show, captions, reactions, apps, whiteboards, notes.
Yours is different than mine,
Yeah,
then.
look on the actual like Zoom window. So there should be like the Zoom meeting window, and then there's a Zoom window for the application itself.
Settings. Okay, here we go.
There you go.
Audio. Original sound for musicians. Okay. Is that better? Do I need to hit a button? there's no like save profile button.
Yeah,
Let me
maybe
try
I think you
again.
just click it, and if you close it out, it should hold the settings.
Yeah, it's holding it. Okay, let's try this again. Sorry about that.
No problem. It's worth it, buddy.
Better?
I heard the first few keys, but then when I'm losing some of the lower ones.
Is that happening for everyone?
I don't know. Jam a little. Just try a little and see.
Good.
Give us a couple of bars. No, I'm not hearing anything.
Yeah, I'm not getting anything.
All right, let me drop and come back. And if that doesn't
Oh
work,
yeah, see if
we'll have
that.
to
Yeah,
do it
because
another
maybe because you
time.
changed the
It
the
may be
audio
the
settings.
settings didn't pull. So hold on a
Yep.
second.
Already.
Oh wait, now all of a sudden it's.
Oh yeah, now I can hear. Oh,
now it's up on the top, so I can just click it. Okay.
Cool.
Now, can you hear it?
Perfect.
Yeah, we got you now, buddy.
Thank you. Chopin's Prelude in E minor.
Thank you so
That
much,
was
Nemo.
Beautiful, Nemo.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yes.
One more.
Woohoo! Yeah.
I don't have the Moonlight Sonata online. It's been about a month, and I need to. I can try, but it's been a while since I've played it, so I don't know how far I would get through it before I went over the handlebars.
love
I'm
it when
happy
you
to
do
try.
Moonlight
I mean,
Sonata. I love any of it. I'm serious. Encore.
All right, we'll give it a whirl here.
Sorry, that part's still coming.
Nemo.
That was hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's better every time.
Beautiful.
It's better every time.
Nemo,
Yeah, sorry. I'll get through it. Yeah. But
Nemo,
thank you.
can I ask you something? Is it okay?
Yeah.
I've already seen you play several times Moonlight Sonata first movement. Have you already tried playing Moonlight Sonata third movement?
No, I have only worked the first movement.
Ah,
I feel like movements 2 and 3 are a little bit more advanced for me, but I
okay.
absolutely adore the first one, and sometimes I feel like it's almost like a parlor trick because I've played it so many times that that I can play it. But some of the technical stuff on the second and third movement, it's beyond my capabilities.
Keep at it, man. I would
Okay.
love to hear it. Keep practicing, man.
Oh,
Maybe in
I
the
gotta brag
future, I
on my
guess.
friend Nemo for a second. I gotta brag on him, all right? The man is a brilliant poet. You just listen to his musical talent, and let me tell you what, the man can bake a damn cookie so good it made Martha Stewart want to slap her prison inmate, okay? I'm just saying.
What? We do not know about these hidden talents.
Really?
I'm dropping dime
A
on him, y'all.
very
I'm dropping dime.
talented man.
He sure is. He is very talented in many aspects and a very good friend. Um, and I just want to tell all of y'all that, even though it was a rough day, you guys have seemed to have shown some light into my darkness and made me feel a little better. And so I appreciate you guys for coming out. If you guys want to unmute yourselves and say goodnight to each other, feel free. I'll close the room in a little
Love
bit.
you all.
Good night,
Good
everybody.
night, all. Love you guys.
Good evening.
Love you, Tom.
Right, y'all.
Love you, Mom.
Cheers.
Oh, did I miss it, Nemo? Don't tell me I missed it. It just got back on.
You missed
Oh,
Just
look!
missed it.
the play.
Oh, and it was
Yeah,
so
no, you missed
good
it.
too. It was so good.
Tickle the eye. Can you give us 10 seconds more just for me? Come on.
10 minutes more.
I
Nemo,
got
give me
nowhere
a.
to be. I can play the prelude again,
Is that
or I
okay?
can play a
What-
Jan Tiersen
Yeah.
piece.
Can we get an
I,
encore?
I have to run, but what I'll do is I'll keep the room going. I'll turn the recording off just in case it
Yeah.
stays on the whole time. And then yeah, y'all enjoy the rest of
Oh,
your night. Feel
that is
free.
so cool.
And I'll see you guys next Friday.
Good
Oh
night.
man, that's
Love,
beautiful.
Thomas. Much love.
Okay, cool.